Welcome to Frida Podcast.
Free to Podcast is a nice name for a podcast about free-to-play games.
Yeah. We're talking about... It's just a small little podcast whenever we feel like talking about a free-to-play game. And we're talking about One Piece Treasure Cruise and
Kingdom Hearts Union Cross.
Yeah. I almost said Unchained Key.
Yeah, I mean...
that's not its name
it's
anymore.
technically correct.
We could just say KHUX.
Right. If you've been paying attention to our channel at all, you've noticed that we play a lot of Treasure Cruise and we play a lot of Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key and Union Cross. KHUX.
Right. OPTC.
Right, those things. So we figured might as well have a... There's been a lot of discussion in the podcast too of which one is the better game, which one engages you more.
Right.
So we figured we'd come down and discuss an actual debate over these things.
Right.
And what makes each one good and what makes ones better in each category. So we've got 5 categories: the free-to-play, the investment, the gameplay, the progression, and the story. I figure we can start... I wrote them in the wrong order.
We could also talk about how they are when they started
Versus where they are now.
versus where they are now, because KHUX is a very different game.
Oh, yeah. It's grown a lot.
It is only a year old, while One Piece Treasure Cruise is...
Pushing on 3, right?
It's on its 3rd anniversary in Japan. KHUX in Japan is probably older too. Probably 2 years?
I can't read Japanese, so I don't know. I think it's... I can't imagine it's that much older.
There must have been an event. Or, yeah, I guess.
Regardless, I'm not... For the intents of this, we're going to be discussing how they are right now.
Right. Okay.
So, I figure we can start with free-to-play because that's the one I have listed first.
Right.
And I have some basic stats. If you are just logging in every single day and
Right.
doing nothing else, you can get 500 jewels in Kingdom Hearts Union Cross, as opposed to this is a weekly, or that's the 5?
That's
5 days?
it's 50-50, then 2 100s.
Right. And that's
then
5 days.
And then a 200.
I did my math wrong.
You took a picture.
I did take a picture.
So yeah, it's that 2 days is 100.
So you would have to do that 6 times, which is 30 days. So it's 4.286 weeks.
Okay.
As opposed to One Piece Treasure Cruise, which is way worse about it.
Hold on a minute. I would say One Piece Treasure Cruise has more events.
Right.
So it's always...
None of this is counting the events. We're talking base level.
So one day, every single day for One Piece Treasure Cruise, you get 1 gem. And that's it. You can get... There are daily rewards in every single mobile game.
Yeah.
There are daily rewards for logging in. So it's first 10 days, but then it gets longer and longer with each.
Right, it gets longer and longer. I haven't done the math, looked into exactly which one of these is more worthwhile.
Neither.
Yeah.
No, they're actually pretty bad about it. I've played a lot of free-to-play games.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you have too. But out of all of them, they're pretty bad at rewarding the players for logging in.
They start very early. When it's very early, it's you've logged in for 5 days in a row. Here's 100.
They also give you Treasure Cruise gives you points for. They also give you free points for friend points. Sorry, for logging in, and they also give you berries.
Right.
Or they just give you and you can use that on a second pull, which is useless 95% of the time,
until it's not useless.
Until they make a good, and when it is useful, you can make so many pulls. You can make over 100 pulls
because it's consistently
99.
There is a second currency, but Treasure Cruise has a third currency.
Yeah.
On top of that, the friend point currency. And the thing I find interesting here is that One Piece has a different system of money, has a different system of the free-to-play or the currency.
Right.
It's rainbow gems. They give you the bare minimum.
There is a fourth currency. Cola.
Oh, yeah, right.
For upgrading ships.
I don't know if that's really currency, if that's just materials.
I mean,
You can't use it for anything but.
you can't use. Well, then every currency has a select use.
Right.
It's the same thing for KHUX, except the money in KHUX works with materials as well as other metals.
Right.
The same thing with berries for Treasure Cruise, but it's just for other metals and evolving.
Right. It's just for
Other
evolving.
units, sorry.
One Piece Treasure Cruise does the bare minimum. It gives you one berry or one
Rainbow gem.
one rainbow gem every single day.
Right.
And since that's the bare minimum, it puts itself in sort of an awkward situation. In that one rainbow gem is the going thing for every single thing.
Correct.
This one thing is going to be an expansion of 5 slots, or a continue, or 1/50th of the way to a multiple.
You can also increase your stamina,
Right, or an increase of stamina with one rainbow gem.
which lets you go further and do more with certain things.
Right. Where in Kingdom Hearts has recently changed it. So 100 jewels is sort of the going thing rate for things.
Right.
Which was sort of awkward in the very beginning when you only get 50 per day.
Mm-hmm.
So you couldn't.
Wait, is that in English or is it only in Japanese?
What, 100 is the going rate?
No, you're talking about character. You're talking about expanding your character box.
Not anymore. They just recently changed it, and this was the best thing they've done. They made it cheaper to expand your box. Expanding your box costs 50 as opposed to the 100 it used to cost. Increasing your stamina also costs 100, and using a continue is also 100.
Right.
You can also pay 30 to fill out your special gauges,
Which
but
I never use.
it's almost entirely pointless.
It's only for. It would only be for raid bosses, but even then you have a bunch of people wailing on it.
Yeah, you don't need it. It's not worth it. It's never been worth it.
So free to play, you can make a case for both.
But I think Kingdom Hearts gets the point.
How many events? No, yeah, because Kingdom Hearts offers events.
Every so often they have the free daily jewels in which you get 200 for doing the most in that. And it's not difficult to do the most in that. They made it way easier
Normally,
since Union Cross came out.
Normally it doesn't happen a lot. It doesn't happen every single week, but
Right.
you could get mainly 1,400 jewels out of a free to play event like that.
Right.
It is. What else? There's something else I wanted to say about Kingdom Hearts. The deals are also flexible.
Right.
Although there is the 300 and 600 deals, never pull from them.
You never ever pull from them.
Now that there's deals that go to 1,500, so it's half of a multi-pull. There's deals like the decreasing rates that's just gotten released. What else? I think that's it. One Piece always has the same thing: 5 gems for one pull, 50 gems for a multi-pull with plus one more, so
which
it's
is
1
11.
free pull. So, but it's also both reward you for increasing the story. So it's like after beating an island on One Piece, even though it's not that starts to happen after you pass a certain point, you start getting 5 rainbow gems for beating every island.
Right.
And harder islands give you 10.
This follows into Kingdom Hearts, which every 5 missions you get 150.
Right.
And then in the more recent ones, you're getting 250.
Right.
But that's like 500 plus quests in, so it's not going to be that relevant.
Right.
I think Kingdom Hearts eventually just has to get the point because the gems are worth more, or the jewels are worth more, and it's easier to get them.
In a going rate, we should compare, since 1 gem gets you anything in Treasure Cruise, 1 gem increases your character capacity.
Right.
1 gem increases, fills your stamina. 1 gem, what else does 1 gem do?
In a free-to-play...
1 gem is a continue.
Right. In the free-to-play system, I do have to give Kingdom Hearts the extra point because stamina is almost non-existent.
They've done a lot of campaigns where it's 0 AP.
It's almost every single month
Which
where it's
is
0 AP.
so strange.
Yeah, it's considering that's one of the ways free-to-play games operate, it's just sort of ignored that entirely.
Right.
So I want to talk about characters you can get, but I'll put that into progression.
Yeah.
So let's talk about investing.
So putting gems into it.
putting money into it.
Right, that's what I mean.
So, how much is a 50? So 50 is the big multiple. 50 is where you
50
want to be.
Is the big multiple. There's nothing past that.
How much is 50 rainbow gems?
You can't exactly get 50. You can't buy 50.
Right.
You can only buy.
Yeah.
You can buy 30 or 60. 30 is, I want to say, $20. 60 is probably a bit more than that, but 30. If you wanted to get 250, you would probably just want to buy the 60 because
Right.
it's cheap. It's all okay. So buying gems in One Piece, if you want to get to 50, you might as well just go to the 60 immediately
Right.
because you'd get the most. You'd get it's the best deal.
It's cheaper than buying 30
It's
twice.
cheaper than buying. That's the whole thing. However, that does stack up, and it's just for the pulls.
Right.
However, you can. So there's not much to that. If you just started, there is a certain. You get 2 free pulls. You get 1 free pull from a set character batch, a beginner's deal.
Oh, right. Yeah. The beginner's deal in One Piece Treasure Cruise is great.
They also hold sales. Sales for rainbow gems. So say you buy 60, you'll get, strangely enough, you'll only get yellow turtles,
Weird.
yellow boosters. So it helps you level up your characters.
Are they Hime turtles?
They can be Hime turtles.
You get a chance to get?
No. It's the
sales give them,
the
some sales
it's the
don't.
better. No, it's the better deal.
Oh, that
than
makes
Hime.
sense.
So you're buying 1 rainbow gem, you're not going to get anything.
Right.
You're buying like 5 rainbow gems, you might get a teenage turtle, but like maybe the max deal will give you like 5 Hime turtles.
Right.
And like over 100 gems. But other than that, and I know that Kingdom Hearts already wins on this.
Yeah, this is not a competition.
This is not a competition. It's you're buying for the chance of getting good characters. And if not, if you get we should talk about that later. Getting duplicates.
Oh, right. That's falls into progression probably.
Right.
The fifth currency in One Piece Treasure Cruise.
Duplicates. Yeah, there is a 5th currency.
Christ.
Okay.
All right, so Kingdom Hearts, Unchained Key, and Union Cross did the same thing, in which every week you could buy in with the weekly sale. It's $15, and that gives you 3,000 gems, jewels.
Enough for the best deals in the game.
Enough for the main pulls. And you get access, they did this recently, you get access to VIP quests. These VIP quests...
It's not recent.
I mean, but they made it better recently.
They've made the VIP quests better.
The VIP quests are basically, not only does it give you access to all the weekly events, and by weekly events I mean there are weekly things that get you experience items, that get you evolution items, that get you money items, that get you they used to give you special cost items, but now this is just a free thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then a special thing, which was just the best way to do it. Recently they're like, we've expounded on that. There's an event that gives you an additional 1,400 jewels. So for $15, you get 4,400 jewels and 4 of a tier 5 medal. And then you do it again next week, and then you get to gilt it.
Right.
This is absurd value for $15.
It's very good.
So if you do it twice, that's $30 for 8,800 jewels.
Correct.
Which is almost 3 pulls. There's not even a question. And then the pulls themselves will split up into this. The pulls themselves were garbage. They used to be terrible in Unchained Key.
They were very bad.
Like, they were the worst things physically possible. It was like, hey, welcome to an Epic Metal Carnival. We're not even going to assure you a 6-star. But then, ever since Union Cross, they're like, all right, we fixed it. Now you're assured to get at least a tier 4 medal every single time.
Not in every deal.
Oh, not in every deal.
Not in every deal. They go back to, at some points, they go back to the 2 6-stars with orbs filled, and that's great. That's still a great deal.
Good. But now that you can get tier 4s, you're getting illustrated and premiums, and you're getting the medals that really feel worth these 3,000 pulls.
Can I add something about Japan?
Sure.
Japan Treasure Cruise. They've made it's deals. It's deals now.
Yeah.
They've made the multi-pulls more worth it. Because after 3 multi-pulls, you get, which is quick, which is easier to get than 5 on
Oh yeah,
for getting the guaranteed pull.
yeah.
You get after 3, you get a guaranteed Sugo, which is the best thing to get in the game. And in Japan, it doesn't even matter that it's boosted in that,
Oh yeah.
which because luck is it's just my luck in regards to Japan. It's just amazing.
I feel like I was gonna say this. Oh yeah, the big overarching deal for all of the premium deals is that if you pull from it 5 times, you are assured whatever the poster medal is in the last pull.
Right.
In addition to whatever you're gonna get anyways, which is great. But 5 is so many.
Yeah, I have yet to do that.
I've done it once in my entire career, and I've been playing for almost a year now.
You gotta wait a bit. August that's when you'll have a year under it. I've been playing for a year.
And it's good when you finally get it, but it just feels a little bit underwhelming because it's like you've pulled 5 times and you didn't pull it once before, and then you finally got it assured.
Let's also let's go back actually, or
Okay.
should this be in progression? The free to play, getting units.
Getting units is in progression.
Okay, then let's talk about that.
All right, so gameplay, and I'm not. This is the part where I just sort of fold. One Piece Treasure Cruise plays way better.
It has so much. It's so much more involved than
There's
Kingdom Hearts.
So many layers of depth to Treasure Cruises.
With Kingdom Hearts, once you get a certain Keyblade, once you get a certain number of medals, it's like, well, this is the best thing my Keyblade can be.
Right.
Like getting Kairi, it's like, okay, she's always gonna go at the start of my medals.
I'll start because the gameplay is so basic in Kingdom Hearts. I'll lead into that. So there are 2 things you can do basically. You can tap an enemy to attack that enemy, or you can swipe on the screen to attack every enemy in the thing. And then you can hold a Keyblade and hold on a medal and swipe it up to use the special attack, which costs gauges and can attack either one enemy or several enemies and do any number of things.
Right.
It can boost you, it can
Heal
you, it can restore gauges.
It can lower enemies' defense or raise your defense.
Right, it can do a bunch of different things. So every Keyblade sort of falls into the same pattern.
Right.
You're putting your boosters first, and then you're ending it off with one big hit, and then you're selecting a follower medal who does sort of the exact same thing.
Right.
Every Keyblade does this. There's no real mix-ups or anything.
There is mix-ups when you start leveling up Keyblades further.
Right.
And you get different boosts depending on what you put onto it.
Oh, like reverse boosts and upright boosts.
But I found that it doesn't. I would rather prioritize. It actually harms the Keyblade.
Because it's like, oh, there's a reversed medal at the slot. Well, I had an upright medal there, and I'm not going to change my entire Keyblade to fit that.
And it's like the way it's working out now is like, I have... Starlight is useless.
It's garbage.
The way it's been set up, because it should have a red slot at the start, either for King Mickey or Kairi. Illustrated either of them, because King Mickey raises power...
Power-based strength, speed-based strength, and magic-based strength.
By 1, which
for
is
2
fine.
turns.
For 2 turns, that is great. Kairi just raises basic everyone's strength by 3 tiers for 1 turn, also heals. But they're both red medals in a blue slot. They would be in a blue slot, and there's no red slot until the 4th slot. So they're useless. But for Kairi, it doesn't really matter. I've put her on my 3 wishes, my blue Keyblade, even though she's red.
Right.
In the top slot.
Fuck it, I just put her on every Keyblade.
My blue Keyblade so far is Kairi, Illustrated Terra, Moana, Key Art that lowers their magic-based defense by 2 tiers, and then Zexion, Gilded Zexion on the final reverse thing.
Each Keyblade has a set boost. It says if there's a speed medal in this slot, it goes up.
Right.
If there's and then there are Keyblades that have entirely speed boost, entirely magic boost, entirely strength boost, or various mixes.
Right.
After a certain point, I just gave up on fucking what the boosts were. If there was one great boost, the Olympia Keyblade goes strength, speed, strength, speed.
Yeah.
I said fuck it. I put all my strength boosters, and then because it has a 2.5 boost for an upright medal,
the boosts can get very good.
I slapped Meowjesty on there, so he had a billion damage. It doesn't matter. Like these Keyblades, once you get boosting them, there's one you're gonna use all the time, and you're gonna get medals that are so good that it doesn't even matter what the fucking enemy's type is.
And let's go into that. Well, let's do a segue into One Piece because it feels like there's not enough life in the combat.
Right.
It feels very stilted.
Here's the so there's I'll describe it very simply. One Piece sort of guides you where, or Kingdom Hearts sort of guides you where to go. It says this is how you set up your Keyblade. This is the kind of thing you should be doing, and then it lets you off to fight those things.
Yeah.
Treasure Cruise, none of that.
One Piece Treasure Cruise loves different team comps. Everyone will have a different experience with One Piece Treasure Cruise based on the characters they get.
How many classes are there? Like 9?
There is Fighter, Slasher, Striker, Shooter, Powerhouse, Driven, Free Spirit, Cerebral. That is 8 classes total. And they all have the different mixes. You can have...
Because there can be 2 classes on one unit.
Right. And there's also 5 colors. There's blue, red, green, and that's the color wheel. And then there's also 2 other colors, which is purple and yellow, that counter each other. So it's like if you've played Puzzle and Dragons before, it's the same setup like that.
If you played a free-to-play game, you understand how most gameplay works.
Right.
There's a red, blue, and green that beat each other in a wheel. And then, One Piece Treasure Cruise adds its second thing onto it.
Right. Well, they also... Other free-to-play games have that.
Right.
Have purple and yellow that are neutral to everything except for themselves. And you have 6 people... You have 6 slots total. You have 2 captains. You have a captain you place on, and then you have a friend captain that a friend captain shares with you. And you have 4 other slots for whoever. So say you have a slasher captain. It doesn't. You obviously want slashers on your team, but you can put actually whoever you want, as long as there's enough slashers to get a good bonus. Because you could just put someone like Usopp on there, who is good in any team. He's like Kyrie. He's like Kyrie for Kingdom Hearts.
Right.
But team comp aside, you can have the best team in the world, but you need to have a certain skill to it because it's all tap timing based.
Right.
So like, the screen is laid out with the almost cosmetics, and then the nitty gritty on the bottom. Like you tap the character slot, they go to attack, and you have to match. You have to like hit a perfect.
Right. The words pop up, like some fight words pop up over the character, and they will go into the center.
Yeah.
And then you tap right then.
Right. And they all have different combo amounts. So the lowest combo amount is 4. But you can go to up to like 10. And
It's 0.4, right? That's the lowest?
What do you mean?
The lowest combo multiplier?
No, the lowest.
Oh, the
I'm
hit
talking
combo,
about the
right?
hit combo.
There's so many layers.
That's
so
a
many
different.
levels.
That is a different thing. The combo. There are certain captains that love high combos. So if you're like a captain that's like doubles attack when they get to 20 hits, triples attack when they get to 30, and like 3.5 attack when they get to 40.
So that's one example of a team is you can set up a team that just tries to get as high a combo as possible.
And you can put whoever you want as long as they have high combo.
Right.
But there are other teams that are like, if your health is low enough, you get the boost to your health. Or if your health is full when you attack,
you get the boost.
Those are a bit dangerous to play with. It's...
Because one thing can go wrong and then you're messed up.
You're messed up. Whitebeard was the first Sugo, the best units in the game, and he was that. He was triples your attack when your health is below 30%. And he has recently got an upgrade, which it's 1.75 regardless, and then times 3 if the 30%. So he's good. But we're on progression now or gameplay?
We're still in gameplay.
Oh, in gameplay. Okay.
There are also teams like Sugo Luffy is the one that's like doubles or triples attack if you go good, great, perfect. Quadruples. If you go good, great, perfect.
He was one of the best captains. He still is one of the best captains in the game because he is a rainbow captain. He doesn't care about color. He doesn't care about class or anything like that. As long as you hit a good, great, and perfect. But that is also another version of a high skill team.
Right.
A low skill team would probably be
just anybody who says times 2.5 attack, period?
Yes. Or something like Sugo Crocodile. Sugo Crocodile, as long as you take hits,
Oh,
like
yeah.
you take the lower your health is, the better you'll do. I mean, I guess if you get scared easily, don't run someone like Whitebeard and Crocodile if you ever get them, because if your health gets low enough, Crocodile is best when you're at 1 HP, and Whitebeard is best as long as you're below 30%. But if you get scared and you heal, uh,
You're going to lose it.
you're gonna lose it. But Crocodile's always affected. He's always double at full, 3.25 at 1. So if you heal up a bit as Crocodile, it's fine. There are 2 Cerebrals you want on your team that reduce the health to 1, and it's 3 to 2 your Robin and Killer.
Right.
But that's character comps is not what we're talking about. There's also like defensive barriers and buffs you can add to your people. So orbs happen whenever you attack. Like you get an orb on your character at the start of the turn. If the orb matches your character's slot, you get a boost to that character's attack. If it is the opposite, say you're running a red character and you get a blue slot, that weakens your character. Any other slot is pretty neutral. There are characters that manipulate which slots are good. So if you have a chopper team, a 3-2 year chopper, it makes it so you don't have bad slots.
Right.
Purple become beneficial for yellows.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Not the best boost, but for a team that doesn't have naturally occurring bad orbs, that's great.
Right.
Uh,
You're talking about ships?
ships are another thing.
Ships are sort of the version of like the slot or the keyblades.
Except they can't have a big impact because say Mary Go is one of the first ones you're gonna get, and it's gonna be the one you use.
The dinghy, dude.
You're not gonna use the dinghy unless you really need recovery. The Mary Go is a ship that boosts your attack by 1.5, and
I thought it was 1.2.
no, it's good. The Mary is a very good ship to start out with.
Right.
Because if you pair it with, like, you get a Luffy, it's fine. You have a decent enough boost.
Right. And it ups your HP too.
Yeah, like by 500,
right,
which is good. You're thinking of the flying model Mary.
Oh, yeah.
That heals you by like 300 per turn and boosts your attack by 1.2, which can also be good if you really need recovery per turn. There's another ship, and it's hard to get ships. It's very hard to get ships.
The way you get ships is through story progression and through
training forests.
Don't you get them through other missions too? Like go back and do them on islands?
Yes, there are missions in the game that you can go back and do. There's not many. They don't update it a lot.
Yeah.
It's basically only at the Baratai, Sanji's ship. But if you do put the time in, you can get some good ships. Like Kuro's ship in Usopp's Island is great for a blue team. Like you get 1.4 in attack and HP, and it reduces your special by 1 turn. Which is great for a Jozu team who doubles your attack and HP if you're a blue character. That gives you like 80,000 health. But getting ships are difficult. You need to have good units and a good strategy when fighting the forests because they're the hardest things in the game.
Right.
And I think that's in progression.
Yes.
So let's go to progression. Difficulty.
I'll say a very brief ending thing about gameplay. Or maybe I won't. I feel like I had something exactly to say about gameplay. Oh, alright, yeah, sure. One Piece has an absurd amount of depth to it. You can put together so many different kinds of teams, and because there's so much depth to it, they can mess around with that a lot.
Yeah.
There is no such thing as like blocking. You can get paralyzed and you can get status effects that sort of mess with how you do your team.
Right.
But in Treasure Cruise, you can get your perfect timing harder. You can get your perfect timing better.
You
You
can-
can get blinded so you can't see the words anymore.
You can
and
get
have to-
which that increases the skill
right.
because you have to.
Then you have to know.
You have to remember. It's it feels good when you're blinded and you still hit like 5 perfects in the fight. Paralysis is kind of
it just like
difficult.
doesn't let your person go, right?
If it has a chance,
yeah, that's what I noticed.
There's low paralysis. You can get poisoned. You can get venomed, which only happens in one raid. And right now I'm anticipating that raid, and I need one character in order to beat this raid. It's not on global yet, but it's Chopper. It is the strong world Chopper, and he cures venom.
Right.
So that's what I need, and you can get skill books. Oh yeah, progression.
Hold on. And then I'll say something about boss fights. I think Kingdom Hearts has the upper hand in boss fights exclusively because of the way the specials work. Specials in Kingdom Hearts work through gauges. Each Keyblade has a set amount of gauges, and then you can fuck around with the gauges if you get certain medals and everything. And then you can just walk in and fight the boss and hit him with everything you've got immediately.
But that won't kill any boss. Okay, if that's a problem I've noticed through Kingdom Hearts. Say you get... This is a progression now.
Alright, well, hold on. Then let me talk about Treasure Cruises real quick.
Okay.
Treasure Cruises gameplay works. The specials are on a timer. Unless you have a ship that does something else with that or a cabin that does something else with that. They have a set amount of turns before their special is ready.
There are also special attacks that that lower the special cooldown by 1.
So then there are... So when it comes to bosses, just in the story, they're pretty reasonable because you just have to fight through the ways. And then by the end of it, you should have your specials there. But when it comes to clashes and such, then you have not that much time, so you really have to look into... Alright, am I going to be able to take hits from this thing? Am I going to be able to grind out on this one enemy and not kill them in this many turns? So your specials can get there. Alright, into progression.
I want to talk about how different premium medals work in KHUX to Sugos in Treasure Cruise.
Right.
Because with medals in Kingdom Hearts, you get them and they're immediately at their final evolution.
Right.
But with Treasure Cruise, you get them at 5-star and you have to evolve them. Which, that can be a double-edged sword. It's like, oh, I got my premium, I'm ready to go. But if you pull a Sugo when you're just starting the game,
right,
the fact that it's in 5-star, and it's only like, it costs is 30, that's great.
Yeah.
Because you don't have a lot of cost.
Right, cost is a huge thing.
But if you have a premium in Kingdom Hearts, and you pull it like day 1, it's useless to you for the majority of like the first 50 missions.
Right.
And also later it becomes useless again.
It goes through like a cycle because of guilting.
Right. If you don't guilt your premiums, they become pretty weak.
Like there's a certain point, there's a cutoff. There's like a sweet spot in the very beginning where it's like premiums are the best. It's like if you got premiums, you're knocking them out of the park and you're killing any enemy. And then there's like, to make a One Piece comparison, like entering the new world.
Right.
Is like, alright, all of a sudden this game has amped up the difficulty. In Kingdom Hearts, there's a system called guilting. Each medal has 6 orbs, 5 orbs, and a
square
special attack bonus. When you level it up using another medal of the exact same level and rarity, or not level, but rarity, then you fill an orb. These orbs do something, again, Union Cross added the trait system,
right,
in which you get a random boost to it.
Some can be useless, and some can be amazing.
Like, there's, at the top end of the spectrum, there's the extra attack.
Yeah.
Which literally just lets you go again.
At less power.
At less power, sure. And then there's plus gauges, so it just gives your Keyblade more gauges. Or plus attack, like plus 1,000 attack.
Mm-hmm.
There's all sorts of good stuff, and there's all sorts of useless stuff. And it's at random.
Right.
The better your medal is, the more things it can hold. But this, and then once it gets to the final, when you put the orb into it, it ups the special multiplier.
Yeah.
So if a medal deals 2.00 damage with the special, it goes to like 2.10 or 2.05 or something useless.
If you get like 5%, it does.
Well,
which that can be so. if you're thinking, oh, I'll guilt it and then I'll be in the money, that's not always the case.
Once you get to the final stage, that's called guilting it. Once you fill the square in, and guilting is basically just where you want to be with your medals,
Right.
Because you get a guilt percentage, and this adds on to your special multiplier, like it doubles it or triples it or something absurd like
Hold
that.
Hold on a minute. It never triples it. It boosts it by 100%. Many medals have it maxed at 100%.
Right. There's the
So say you have a 2.00 that becomes 4.00. With premiums, it goes even further, like 120% with many of them, 150 for some.
right. That's the premium medals in Kingdom Hearts have like the baby bullshit free to play medals have a 25%.
Yeah.
The baby bullshit bought medals 50%.
Mm-hmm.
And then it goes to 100% for like the reasonable medals and like event medals, and then it goes to 120%. New SP Sephiroth. Let me show you his his symbol, because I don't know if you saw it when I showed it to you the first time.
God. I want to say this. There is a trade system in One Piece Treasure Cruise. It's called Powers.
It's way worse.
Hold on.
It's worse.
It gives the chance to have more. Certain units only have one. Oh God! It looks horrifying.
Yeah.
That's the first thing? It's the first 6 tier I've ever seen.
The first 6 tier, I think.
Powers work. You can get some that's like heals you per turn, reduces damage taken. You can't get bound. You can't get despaired. Your specials get increased. You're immune to poison. Some of them are useless. Like you're immune to map damage. It's pretty. You just get better healing instead. But some characters have like 5 of them. 5 orbs. You have to. And it's not like, oh, you get one of them, you get
and
the
it
power.
activates? No.
You on a character, you have to get 5. You can get 5 orbs at once on the same orb. You 5 levels.
Right.
So you get 5 HP. You get 5 auto heal orbs on a character, and you get the base level of auto heal.
And this adds up through your entire team, right?
This adds up through the entire team. So, but say you get a Sugo. It's a lot easier to not power them, not give powers to them, but to get their special up somewhat, because leveling specials in One Piece is a very hard task. It's a very
fickle mistress.
It's a very fickle thing. Like it can be hard to get Sugo books, but if you do, just like start grinding them out as much as you can, and then just throw them on there when there's an event that gives you a better chance to level up a special.
Right. Events, like there are just random events that give you random Sugo books.
What?
There's random events that give you random Sugo books.
What are you talking about?
In One Piece Treasure Cruise, there are just random extra island events.
Oh, you're talking like the Fortnite quests?
Yes.
Right.
And
Let's
they give
talk
you...
Let's talk about that. So, in One Piece Treasure Cruise, it's not just the main islands that you go through. There's a thing called Extra Island. That's where the training forests are. That is where a place called the Coliseum is. That is where Fortnite quests are, and that's where clashes show up. And any other special events. So, Fortnite quests, I'd say that trumps Kingdom Hearts in terms of free-to-play medals.
Right. This is absolutely true. That if you're only making pulls, it's gonna be better in Kingdom Hearts. But you can get really good units in One Piece Treasure Cruise without making pulls.
Right.
They're obviously dwarfed by what you do get out of pulls, but regardless.
Not Clash units. Clash units
Clash units.
Clash units can be very good.
How are you gonna get the Clash units if you don't make pulls though?
Okay. Mihawk.
You're not going to.
No. Hold on. They've done a progression system. Mihawk, you can get Mihawk if you build up a good enough strength team.
Right.
And Mihawk is probably the first 2.5 class booster you can use, because he's a 2.5 slasher. And his special's also pretty good because it's just Whitebeards. It's Sugo Whitebeards.
Okay.
Reduces health by 30%. Sure, 6+ Whitebeard gets better, but we're not talking about that right now. But so with Mihawk, you can do more things. Probably get Garp at some point with him. But there's usually like 2 quests at a time, and the best you can get a rainbow gem for beating all the quests at once. So you can get like 2 rainbow gems every week from that type of thing. From a new one. Sorry.
Right. Yeah.
If you haven't completed any, you'll get a bunch of rainbow gems from it. But like, say, the Lucci event's going on right now in Japan. If you need a quick captain, he doubles quick attack. And you can get free-to-play Kaku, too, on that island, who is an ore booster, so you already got a pretty strong quick character in the form of Lucci, and you can have someone who makes orbs better in the form of Kaku, and you can orb them pretty easily.
Right. And then One Piece has a system in which you can 2 times stamina quests.
Yeah.
And then you get double the rewards that you get out of it.
Oh, and you can... I have Sugo Lucci on Japan, and you can use any character, as long as they have the same name, on any unit and get a orb, get a power.
They don't have to be the same rarity. They don't have to be the same class. They don't have to be the same anything.
So
as long as they have the same face.
Right. With free-to-play Lucci, I can put a bunch of him on Sugo Lucci, and I'll still get powers. That's where it really comes in handy.
Right.
Unless... The only problem is, with that mentality, there's not many, like... There's only 2 Whitebeards in the game.
Right. You're going to be able to do it really easily with some units, and not at all with others.
Like, Sugo Mihawk is very good to orb if you can beat Mihawk on Clash. He is one of the most common Clash units in the game.
At the point where you're grinding out his Clash, you're going to be doing great.
Yeah.
Luffy's is pretty annoying?
No. What, grinding out Luffy orbs?
Yeah.
No. You just haven't gotten a chance to get... Because you got Sugo Luffy when the Afro Luffy quest was going on.
But I didn't do the Afro.
You didn't do the Afro Luffy
So I gotta wait until that rolls back around.
But there's also Nightmare Luffy, if he ever comes back to Global. I don't know if he ever will. I missed that chance. So there's
Nightmare Halloween again, if I had to guess.
No, he wasn't here this Halloween. Yeah. There is actually other Halloween quests. There's the Straw Hat Nightmare Party.
Huh.
So you can get any Straw Hat orbs from that. There's also the Rising Suns, Rising Fortunes. You can get Lucci, Nami, Zoro orbs. And there's another half of that quest that I've only seen on Japan where you can get Chopper, Robin, and Usopp orbs.
Sure.
Sanji's actually a rare recruit in that form. I got him. I'll never get him again. He's not that good.
One Piece also does occasionally, they're just like, hey, as an introduction to powers, here's a little free-to-play event where you just get 3 random Straw Hat units.
Yeah, 2 units.
Sure. And I know this because I'm playing on my iPad, and I got 5 Brooks in a row, and I don't have a Brook.
It sucks because there's no good Brook on Global yet.
Right.
Absolutely no good Brook. Though Brook becomes good in his time skip form.
Of course.
Which is not out yet. He'll probably come out in one of the next Sugo Fests. But have you held on to those Brooks?
Yeah.
Good. Other than that, you can put stat boosts on medals and units in Treasure Cruise and KHUX. It caps at 100 for defense and attack on units in KHUX.
1,000. It's 1,000.
Did I say 1,000 or
100?
I was right with Treasure Cruise. You can put 200 stat boosts total on a unit in Treasure Cruise.
And you can combine them, right? You can do 200 HP or 200 attack or 200...
You can only do 100 on a stat.
Oh, huh.
So, with most units, you're going to want to put it on attack and HP. With a character like Boa, who heals based on her recovery stat, you would want to put it on recovery. But there's cost. You can put negatives on in KHUX.
Right, and this is one of the best things about it, by far. So in Kingdom Hearts, when you level up, you get access to avatar boards. That's the third currency in
Yeah.
is the avatar coins. These avatar coins are used to fill in boards. And boards have AP, HP, and cost.
At a certain point, the cost
Right.
stops.
They just stop giving cost, and instead they give you SIDS. And then also they give you
SIDS lowers
avatar.
the cost on metals.
Right. They give you avatar. AP is stamina. They give you avatar parts, like costumes or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just like something to do to increase your character, how you walk around and everything. It's just a little something extra, even though it costs the most. So every level up, you get to put something into every single one of those, as opposed to One Piece, where when you level up, you get one or the other.
Right.
You get stamina, and then you get cost, then you get stamina, then you get cost, and you get stamina, then you get cost.
Correct.
So in the very beginning, like you said, if you get a super high cost unit in a pull in, this doesn't change. Every 6-star unit costs like 42,
46.
46. And every 5-star unit costs like 14.
Yeah, it's a pretty big.
It's a tremendous jump.
Yeah.
This change, but once you've got places for 6-star units, you can basically just put them on regardless.
Right.
One Piece is different in that different metals cost different things regardless of their level.
So, you can have. There are Coliseum units. Every single one that is in Chaos only, the hardest difficulty in the Coliseum, they all cost 40. Which can be interesting because there is one character in the Coliseum that you can get that boosts 40 cost characters' attack by 2.5.
Right.
So if you want a Coliseum team, that is possible too. I don't know how you'd be able to grind out all those Coliseum units unless your luck is amazing and you have a bunch of Sugos, which I do not.
Double buggy team, maybe.
What?
Isn't buggy extra drops?
Yeah, except good luck beating a Coliseum with
a buggy
with a
team?
1.5 boost.
Yeah.
But Buggy he boosts characters 40 cost or lower by 1.5, so you could have a Coliseum team
With
led by Buggy.
So there's a trade-off here. Because the cost is so interesting, or is so all over the place in One Piece, there are captains that care about it.
Right.
Sugo Buggy cares about it.
Sengoku.
Sugo Sengoku cares about it.
Also normal Sengoku.
Right.
There's
What's his name?
Kiros. Kiros cares about it. He's the army commander from Dressrosa.
Right.
If you have cost 30 or less in his evolved state, it's a 2.5 boost. Which is everything other than Clash units, Sugo units, and Coliseum units.
Right.
Which, that's amazing.
That's gigantic. That's such a big boost.
Uh,
The reverse of this trade-off is that it's going to take you so long to put an evolved Clash unit on your team.
it does take a while, unless you do the ×2.
I've been doing the ×2.
So,
My current, I pulled Sugo Luffy, the Free Spirit captain, and I want to evolve him. Number one, this is a lot of work.
it's much more arduous to evolve a Sugo in Treasure Cruise than it is to in KHUX. Because there's so many more materials.
Yeah.
There's crabs. There's bigger crabs.
The evolve system sucks.
Lobsters.
It is garbage.
It's
And the thing about this, and this is one of the things that blows my mind, they don't tell you. They're like, you can maybe evolve this. If you go into evolve and you have a unit that can evolve, it'll be like lightly faded. So you tap on them and it'll show you the materials.
Yeah.
And if you don't have the materials or have never seen the materials before, it's a question mark.
okay. If you've never seen them before, it's a question mark.
Yeah.
But if you just do the quests every single week, both KHUX and One Piece Treasure Cruise offer you all the evolution materials you could ever need
Over the week.
Sure, some, like the dragons, you need a rainbow dragon in order to
Evolve Clash
evolve
units. Or Sugo units.
Sugo units. Clash units, I don't think they need that.
They need the Sea Stallion.
They need the Sea Stallion. Many units need the Sea Stallion, but
So there are...
the rainbow dragon is the boss fight.
Right, and it's killed me before.
It has killed you. You need to be ready to fight it.
Yeah, I breezed through the entire thing, and then the Rainbow Dragon showed up and just ended my life.
Yeah, you just need to wait your specials out.
Yeah. The thing that... In Kingdom Hearts, I'll say this because it's way simpler, there are 5 basic Evolver units. There's the Cheshire Cat that evolves your 1-star. The Wizard from Sword and Merlin, who evolves your 2 stars. The Fairy Godmother, who evolves your 3 stars.
Yep.
Yensid, who evolves your 4 stars. And Mickey, who evolves your 5 stars.
Yep.
But in order to evolve your 4 stars and 5 stars, you also need the Fiora... Merryweather and red one.
Rosa? I don't think that's it.
Something like that. You need some of them to do it too. You need 3 of the 4-star or 5-star versions in order to evolve and push them through.
Right.
Which is annoying. Like, this is a lot of work to do.
Correct.
Especially if you're trying to guild units, because...
It's a heavy cost and also a huge siphon of units. I will say it's easier to level up units in Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key than it is to in One Piece Treasure Cruise.
Right, because once you get to the very... you need to be at level 60 to max out a Sugo unit and then evolve them into their final form.
You need to be level 70.
70. And there's like a stopping point in which like nothing does anything to them.
Right. At a certain point, there's not much reason to put a single teenage turtle on a unit.
Right.
But there's also... I'm fucking annoyed right now. I did get Guild to Zoro, who I will never... He has a joke amount of orbs. He has like 5 orbs unevolved. And I can't orb him.
Yeah, how are you gonna...
Because I can't grind his special out, because
Zoros.
he'll never be on Global again.
Yeah.
None of the movie content will ever be on Global again.
Weird.
Zephyr won't be on it, who is a necessary shooter booster. I did get him, though. But his special is too high.
Yeah.
The class units of specials are very high. Normally breaking 30 turns. The normal is around like 20. 20 to 15.
Yeah, if you're at like 15 and then the level up is a great place to be for your specials.
Right. But they also have a lot of room to grow, because right now Clash Garp, my Clash Garp is someone I'm able to grind, and his special started at like 30 probably, and now he's at like 17, and I haven't even maxed his special.
Jeez.
But someone like Clash Aokiji, his special is great, but it's 32 turns.
Right.
And I used so many continues to kill him, to get him, but I can never do it again. I don't have a team to fight him.
Right.
Clash of Kainu is another thing. Clash of Kainu is one of the hardest clashes in the game, but if you can grind him, he becomes phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like all the Clash units, if you can grind them, are great. Certain units are better at being good without the need to be special leveled up. Because take Clash Doflamingo, for example. I've only beaten him once, maybe twice. But if I put him on a double time skip Zoro team, and I don't mean Sugo time skip Zoro, I mean the 5+.
Right.
And they both lower Dex characters' specials by 1 turn. And at max, his cooldown is 7 turns. So Zoros are just boosting themselves and boosting everyone's immediately.
Yeah.
And also they cut health by 10%. God. So that's a good way to get past the Clash specials.
You set up teams for it.
You set up teams around it. Because with Aokiji, I remember I did a team that started the match increasing their specials by 2 turns. And then both the captains did that. So it started with plus 4 turns. And then every 10 turns, I was able to get their specials off, which also reduced the cooldown time. So at the boss, it was almost like Aokiji had a 20-turn cooldown.
Yeah.
Like he was a normal unit, but I never used him. I'm never using him.
So as a sort of overarching thing here, if you're playing both of these games, you get a Sugo in One Piece and a premium in Kingdom Hearts. You can just put your Sugo on the team and you're doing okay. When you want to evolve them, you're going to go through a lot of stress.
Except with every Sugo captain, excluding Son Goku, who needs to evolve to achieve his
full potential
in terms of captain ability, you can just have a Whitebeard as the captain,
Right, they're good.
They're good without needing to evolve at a certain point. But if when you need them to evolve and you have the cost to allow it, you've probably gotten units.
Yeah.
One Piece also provides certain events that's like Rainbow Beach, which lets you get rainbow evolvers and any evolver you might need.
Right, you can just get all sorts of good
It's all about the
evolvers.
drops, though.
Right. You're going to need... The evolve mechanic in One Piece in general is nonsense. Like, there's no reason for it to be this nonsensical. And the icing on the cake is that units don't stack.
Right.
You can have, and I currently do, I have a fuck ton of evolve units. That's like 20 spaces in my item box, and I'll remind you that's a gem per every 5, so that's 4 gems right there on just getting the space.
Kingdom Hearts also does that. It's
Stacks
only
units.
Only utility units. It
Right.
doesn't stack units that you would get from a quest. That's like a beast. You're doing beast medals.
So
you
if you're going to try and get,
if you get 5 of him, if you get
which you're gonna need to guilt him.
there. Okay, hold on a minute. I just remembered. Kingdom Hearts is a really bullshit thing with free to play events. So it's like, say I want to do, I want to get Halloween Sora,
Right.
which is I can't anymore. But in the event, it was you start them all at 1 star.
Right, and you need to level them up using themselves. Yeah, this isn't good. If you get just a good premium or event medal and you don't want to guilt it, you don't want to do anything, fine, congratulations, you've got an okay medal on your team.
Right.
If you want to guilt this thing, welcome to hell.
And they can be worth it. They
Some
can
of them are
be.
absolutely worth it.
Halloween Sora is a very good unit. He just he's kind of weak
He's
at the end.
He's not, it doesn't feel like it was worth the effort of all the nonsense you had to do. Because you had to evolve him using Halloween Soras.
So yeah, that builds up your inventory a lot.
So you had to...
As well as normal evolution materials.
Right, as well as the evolution materials. So you had to, like, level up certain ones. And in order to do this, it's... Because you can get free-to-play medals, and you can guilt them, too. And guilting has value, because you get Nova.
You get Nova, which...
So even if you're just guilting random bullshit units, you can get extra... you have a special attack that increases in level every time you guilt, and increases by 5 every time you max the guilt.
Which is another thing.
If you put once a medal is guilted, if you put another medal on it, it re-rolls the guilt.
If you have shit guilt luck, like me, I evolved a free-to-play medal that the event will not come back for a while, if at all, and I got a 41.
Yeah.
Out of 100, he is useless to me.
You would they make medals, magic mirrors that exist for the sole purpose of
boosting special abilities.
But they boost it by 1, so you would need like a bunch, and it doesn't feel worth it considering how rare they are to come by.
Their main point is to get you to, like, say you roll
a 95.
Yeah, you roll a 95. You put 5 on there. Now there's a different thing, Mickey and Brooms, which just came out.
Yeah, they're just
came out on global,
and they're just giving you brooms now, and they're so rare. You have to do VIP to get them, or make a 3,000 pull to get them.
Right. But let's talk about. Should we talk about story and then the alternate versions?
Right. Sure. So progression, it's a toss up.
Yeah.
You can get. They did the event recently, or like recently there were the polls where it was like, hey, all things come strengthened to 3 orbs.
Right.
So then if you get another one strengthened to 3 orbs, you're there. You can guilt it real easy.
Yeah.
And one of the annoying things is since they just introduced traits, all your good guilted medals from beforehand are not as good as they could be because they don't have traits.
Correct.
So progression is a toss-up. You can't really put it one way or the other because it's just a bunch of nonsense.
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts wins because getting getting a Keyblade where you can put all 6 stars on it is not that difficult. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of work, but it's not that difficult.
But it also One Piece also comes ahead of that. If you get a Sugo, it doesn't have to be...
You don't have to evolve it.
You don't have to evolve it, and it doesn't need to be guilted or anything like that to be useful.
And with all the books and all the candies and stuff, it's real easy to get there. So, story. This is a sort of weird one in that Kingdom Hearts is telling a new story and One Piece is telling the story of One Piece.
Right.
I'm not going to judge this based on the merits of the story of One Piece because it would win over the story of Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key. This is the way they choose to tell the story.
Correct.
Both of them fucking suck.
Kingdom Hearts is a very slow go of it. You don't get to the story. You don't get to the big meaty portions
until way later.
Until quest 400.
And then they fucking... It's like a bunch of little bullshit going in between places and places and places until you finally get to some boss fights, until you finally start understanding what the fuck the point of the game is. And even then, it's like, you're not actually learning that much.
So, if I could...
We're quest 600 now, right?
We're at quest 600. If I could do this for Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key, you could tell the story in under 100 quests.
You could do it so fast.
Lengthen every single story mission to 5 quests. 5 quests per story. It doesn't need to be 25 quests just to be like, I need to go find a Boo in Agrabah. Let me do the same portion of
over and over back
for
to
5
back
quests. It doesn't need to be like this. You're wasting time. You're making it boring.
Fucking it's literally in the Welcome to Dwarfland. Go to the cave, get the dwarves, come back.
Right.
Go to the cave, get the dwarves, come back. Go to the cave, get the dwarves, come back. I like every time I boot it up and it's like, oh, you're going back to fucking Dwarfland for this shit. I'm like, I don't want to play anymore.
Yeah.
Because I'm burned out of it. Beauty and the Beast was a breath of fresh air because it was over so fast.
Mm-hmm.
Like you met the beast, you calm the beast down, you fight the boss, and it's over. And it's like, holy shit, thank God.
Right. That was all in one sitting, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was great. That's all I could ask for. You fucking in a Aladdin land. He's like, I need to find a Boo. And then
the start of your time in Aladdin, like before quest 100 even happens, it's like, oh, a Boo got stolen. Quest 500 something, you find a Boo.
50, you finally find a Boo.
Like for like all of Agrabah, Aladdin's like, oh, I'm looking for a Boo. I'm gonna be sad until I find him. And then you find him.
One of the most... And Kingdom Hearts loses like 1 billion points for one of my least favorite lines ever in a game. There's a part where it's like, the guards are like, Aladdin stole something. Aladdin's a thief. And then you go like, Aladdin can't be a thief. He's a good guy. And then like, you chase down the real criminal. And then Aladdin yells at the Heartless and he says, hey, don't you know stealing is wrong? And you have to sort of set it down. Like, what happened here? Who did this?
Yeah. One Piece is a lot more streamlined, but it's still kind of...
I wouldn't call it streamlined because I'm consistently mad about it.
It doesn't... Not every single story is like 25 missions where you don't feel like you do anything.
Here's Kingdom Hearts has a bunch of... It's like, hey, I need you to go do this. And then you spend 10 missions walking there.
Yeah.
And then you're done. Then you gotta spend 10 missions walking back.
Mm-hmm.
And then 5 missions walking to the boss. And then that.
Right.
One Piece. Oh my god, One Piece. It's like, there's this... Imagine a scene where they're sitting and talking about going up to fight Eneru. This is punctuated. Every sentence is punctuated with the fucking bullshit free-to-play enemy being like, I'll stop you, and then you beat him. And then you talk about going up to fight Eneru again, and the free-to-play enemy shows up and he says, I'll stop you, and then
it's a lot better in later quests. Like, I'd say Crocodile is where it starts, because there's a lot more enemies they're fighting at once. I know, crazy, right? Ben got a look on his face like, what the fuck are you talking about?
What are you fucking
I'm talking about Baroque Works. Sure, it's more...
Baroque Works is the worst example of it!
Not Whiskey Peak.
They justify it because they're the millions? That it's still garbage.
No, I'm talking about more boss fights. Like, more, like, actual character boss fights. So it's like, you're fighting Mr. 5, Mr. 4, Miss...
Valentine? No, not Valentine. Miss Bloody Sunday?
No, that's Miss All Sunday's Robin.
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking... Who's the mole woman? Miss Merry Christmas?
Miss Groundhog's Day.
I think it's Miss Merry Christmas. For some reason. It's not... Look it up.
I will look it up. And the other... You fight a lot of people, and it does sort of reflect... And I don't mind those missions where it's like, oh, now I have to fight this guy, because I fought them in the game. And then I have to fight this guy, because I fought them in the game. Or in the anime.
With Impel Down, it's like, oh, I go from this level to this level. Of course I'm going to Resistance. It can be kind of difficult and kind of annoying at times when it's like, you cannot heal in this level. Or you take continuous damage in this level, or your specials are locked in this level. Impel Down's pretty annoying with that. But
her name is Miss Merry Christmas.
I was right. It's not Miss Mole Day, because that doesn't exist.
Day.
Right. I don't know. I don't think there is a Miss Groundhog's Day, which is weird, seeing as how she's a fucking mole woman. But with
Broworks is fucking weird.
what?
Broworks is fucking weird.
Yeah.
Dude, there's Mr. Beans.
Who?
Mr. Beans is one of the millions.
Oh,
It's Mr. Beans, dude.
that is a child. But with Enru, there's a lot more people. Like, with. I think it gets more exciting the further you get because there's more intense arcs.
I've talked about this one on the podcast before, but one of the worst experiences when you go to Whiskey Peak, and there's the part where you fight Miss Valentine, and then you fight Mr. Five, and then you fight Miss Valentine and Mr. Five, and then you fight Valentine and Mr. Five, and then Luffy.
Right, that's
and
pretty
it's
bad.
Dragging on my existence. Enru just did this.
Oh yeah.
You fight the cloud person, and then you fight the rider, and then you fight the dude who has a dog, and then you fight the swamp guy, and then you fight Eneru, and then you get knocked down, you have to fight some bullshit, and then some bullshit, and then the three of them over again in different missions, and then you fight Eneru again.
Wait, really?
Yeah, you do!
It's been a while.
It's garbage!
There is the chance, though, that you can always... in Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key, there's no good medal drops in the story.
Right, you aren't gonna get anything.
You could get some amazing units in the story in Treasure Cruise. They are extremely low drops, but if you're willing to grind them, they're not hard if you go back to them, but it's like almost impossible to get them.
That's what I will say. There's like prizes almost.
Yeah.
There's when that does actually happen and you do get one of them to drop, you're like, whoa, holy shit, I didn't expect that.
You never expect it, and it's always the best feeling. They get better as time goes on too. But Crocodile, you can get two different versions of Crocodile. You get the normal base him. You can get one that just poisons, and you can get one that gives him his own slot and then randomizes and then deals damage. They're both very high strength units. Enru is also like this. The admirals in the fight, they're great too. You can get some 2.5 boosters from this.
Right.
You just got to be able to beat them. And in the what is it called? The war. The Marine War.
Oh, the Great War, the Great Pirate War.
Great Pirate War.
Paramount War.
Paramount War. That's it. You can get. I got Smoker. They're good if you don't make pulls.
Right. This sort of falls into the progression of the free-to-play in that there is always the potential to get good units regardless of how you're playing.
Right.
If you're just playing the story, you can still get good units.
If there was no Arlong quest on Extra Island and you pulled Arlong from Arlong Park, his base attack at max is 1,500.
That's what I think we should change it to in the free-to-play version, is we don't use units we pull at all. We don't use pull units.
You don't make pulls?
You don't make pulls.
I mean, weren't going to do that anyway.
We already did.
We made it when it was given to us.
Oh, right, yeah, the pull they give to us.
So you're thinking we shouldn't use them at all?
We just use all the free-to-play units that drop from quests. Yeah.
Not Extra Island either?
You could maybe go to Extra Island.
You can go to Extra Island because
Island.
We would be doing we would be doing another podcast at that point. Because it would be like grinding for Crocodile, in which we create like 50 episodes where we don't get Crocodile.
God.
And if it's like, oh, we want to get him twice, 50 other episodes where we get him. But at the same time, if there's friend points Sugos are some of the best things ever because I've pulled good units.
Yeah.
I've pulled Eneru, and I still can't evolve Eneru. I don't have their proper thing, and I don't care anymore. Because now I've just gotten better units than Eneru.
Right.
There's so much. There's a wide array of units in Treasure Cruise. It's amazing. You can do whatever you want.
Right. I think we should probably start wrapping it up.
We should talk about Japan.
Right. So I'm going to say something at the end of the story. You can almost skip missions. in Kingdom Hearts. If you wanted to, like, I remember back when I started the game, I went through missions so goddamn fast because it was a 0 AP thing.
Right.
And quests, like, if you're not caring about the objectives, you can literally just get to the boss and beat the boss.
Yeah.
There's no value out of doing the quest. You're not going to get anything particularly good, except maybe out of chests. But you can get through it fast. One Piece, there's no such thing as a fast quest. Like, you can just blur through a lot of the bullshit ones, but then you got to get to a wall, and you're going to have to fuck with it.
Yeah.
And really start grinding out stuff.
But here's the thing. If you didn't understand the story of One Piece, you can't skip every quest.
Right.
But if you are interested in the story of KHUX, you could cut down 500 quests.
Right, you could tell the same story in, like, a really short amount of time. You could cut half of each island
Every single...
in Treasure Cruise.
Correct. You can also get rainbow gems from islands, and you can get... There are quests in the islands that give rainbow gems.
Huh.
Yeah, like every single... It's the difficulty of the quest.
Right.
Say I'm fighting a Kainu, like halfway through the Paramount War, I'm gonna get a rainbow gem.
Oh, yeah, that's what it's normally, like, you get 2 rainbow gems per island, and then, like, 5 for completing the island.
Every final island in Treasure Cruise gives a gem.
Yeah.
Regardless. In the Paramount War, I would get, like, 3 gems total because of all the boss fights in it, and then I would get 10 gems from it. I'd say you could build... Let's see... Let me go through the islands. Like, you can get 5 from Whiskey Peak, I think?
I think something like that.
You get 5 from any island.
Yeah.
10 from the final Alabasta arc.
Yes.
10 from Ennie's Lobby, I think.
Yeah, because it's like a huge arc.
Right. 5 from the final... You can get 10 total from both of them.
Did you get 10 or 15 from completing Alabasta?
I think I got 15.
I think it's 15.
Which is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Did you get 15?
I think I got 15. Because it was like, I remember getting in like, whoa, holy shit.
I got Boa around, my first Sugo Boa, I got her around Alabasta.
Yeah.
Because of all the pulls I was able to make at that point in time.
What I'm gonna say, the Kingdom Hearts story is garbage. Like, it falls flat and you don't actually like any of the characters and it doesn't carry any of the weight that the original one does. This is in part because you spend so much time fucking around.
Yeah.
And in the other part because you don't actually interact with any of these characters. Like, nothing happens.
Yeah.
Watching the movie made me like all the characters a billion times more than I would have ever done playing the game.
Uh-huh.
And in One Piece, I know I already like the story.
Mm-hmm.
And one part of me is like, if somebody has never watched One Piece before, I feel like this is a way to get caught up to any part.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm like, I feel like I would hate it.
If they have... Okay. If you get good luck, you won't hate it. Exactly.
No, I feel like the story with how... When you're watching the anime, there's already so many parts where you're like, did they really need to cut this into 2 episodes? Like, it drags on a lot. It's not... There's, like, no filler, but that's because it takes so long to do anything anyways. When it's, like, every sentence is punctuated by, hey, you gotta keep playing the game. It's just, like, fucking random fucking nameless crunches up, and he's like, Anaru will definitely let me onto the maxim if I kill you guys.
Yeah, but there are scenes in Treasure Cruise where they are voiced.
Oh, it's great.
They are voice scenes. You experienced the VV scene again, right?
Yeah.
How'd you like that?
It was great.
It was great.
Like, when it's... when you're finally facing down the boss and you launch all your specials and everything lines up, it feels just as impactful.
Yeah.
As the fight with the boss in the anime. And it's good. I mean, it definitely wins in story.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're both bad, but if I had to pick one story to, like, sit through and watch, it would absolutely be One Piece.
In the cutscenes with One Piece, when they become voiced, they really they up the scale of
Yeah.
quality, because then they start animating some of them. They
Right.
partially animated.
The fun thing about the story is it also does remind me about a lot of the really shitty art in the original. Got the one scene where, like, Luffy pulls up Nami's arm because she's stabbing herself.
It's kind of like awkward anatomy.
Yeah, it's so funny. I think I have that picture saved.
But
It's
let's
like
talk about Japan.
All right.
now.
Do you want to start? Should I start?
I'm gonna say, I play Japanese One Piece Treasure Cruise, and I know One Piece in English will eventually become that, and I don't have to wait a while.
Yeah.
Like, updates are frequent, and there's a good amount of stuff, there's a good amount of content in One Piece Treasure Cruise that if I stopped playing Japanese Treasure Cruise, I would know that eventually, I mean, I never will, because I have so many Sugos, but I'll eventually, the stuff that happens in Japanese Treasure Cruise will come to English. Maybe some minor tweaks, but other than that, it'll be the same game eventually. And I say that because I also want to say that KHUX English will never be KHUX Japan.
Japanese Kingdom Hearts almost feels like an entirely different game at this point. Jewels are so frequent. Like, you get 500 jewels in the...
First 2 days.
Yeah, it's like...
You get 100, 100,
200, 200, 300.
Yeah.
And then that's not even counting the daily jewels that exist, period, in this super easy quest in the Japanese version where you could just get 200 jewels every day.
Yeah.
So that goes from 100, 100 to 300, 300, 500, 500, or 400, 400, 500.
Right.
So, and then you can make pulls, like, absurdly. You just get to make pulls all the time forever. And then they also have the daily SIDS over there. And you can just keep... And they give you just 6-star... medals for logging in, and they give you almost enough to guilt it. They give you Mickey and brooms, like they're going out of style. You can get brooms through dailies.
You make a pull, you get another currency that lets you unlock an avatar board that ends with a Mickey and brooms.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh my god, what is... The pulls are infinitely better. In English, they were just like, recently they were like, alright, we'll assure you that you'll get a premium. Japan didn't have to do that because Japan just naturally had better luck.
But...
I made pulls where I got 2 illustrateds in one pull, and it wasn't even assured. You can get pulls that are just 3 stars.
Yeah. I will say this, though. The story... I'm going to go back to the story for a second. The story is the reason why I stopped playing Japanese Kingdom Hearts.
There's no motivation to continue.
It was the roughest slog I've ever experienced, and I hated it. I was like... It was like... Take all these premiums. You're getting so many jewels. I'm like, I don't care. You're making me eat celery 5 times a day.
It was literally like, imagine there's 2 different scenarios. In one version, you're like just a guy. Like, you start your job and you're like, you're working your hardest and you're like, it's sort of a slog, but like, you think about what's going to happen in the future and what you're going to get out of this. And then in the other one, you enter the door and the red carpet rolls down. And they're like, welcome to the game. Here's everything you could ever ask for. Yeah. Am I going to need to work ever? Absolutely the fuck not. The issue I have in this one is power creep. They've recently started putting in EX medals. And the first EX medal is Cloud EX, who times 3s your power strength and minus times 3 their strength defense. Every person. This medal costs 3. And so I copy it with somebody and I'm at times 6, and they're like, hey, do you want this medal that times 3's your power-based strength? Period?
In English, KHUX, Guild Tier 3 medals have a use. The point of premiums in that game is to make them better. In Japanese Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key, you play as a guy with 2 Infinity Gauntlets.
Yeah,
and you're like, where's the fun?
Unstoppable.
Fight me.
You're like walking through the story and it means nothing. I killed a magic raid boss with 30 million HP with my fucking strength team.
God, I hate you.
And then they were like, that's probably not good enough. Here's a speed Kyrie who times 6's your general strength and ups all your stats by 1 and lowers all their stats by 1 and heals you. And it's like, Kyrie, why do you do that? And then they were like, Sora EX, who does the same thing but for magic. And then like Sephiroth EX, who times 5's your power-based strength and minus 3's their power-based defense and ups 1 your... And it's nonsense. It's absolute nonsense.
With Japanese Treasure Cruise, I feel like I'm just playing Treasure Cruise that is a bit more updates.
And you're luckier.
And I'm luckier. I'm gonna be a lot luckier when the 3rd anniversary comes around and I use all those 3 multi-pulls. I'm gonna be God.
Yeah.
And I don't want to jinx it. I'm gonna knock on wood. Because holy shit.
But
I'm gonna get a Sugo anyway.
But you're not gonna be that. You're not gonna be
I'm
the god that.
I'm not gonna be the
Japanese
unleashed god tier monster that is Japanese Kingdom Hearts. Anyone is that.
You took the limiters off, and you're just like, this is what it is.
You didn't have limiters.
There were no limiters. I mean, I did have limiters because I was playing the English version, and I understood what true power could be. Going back to the English version is just like, where's my fucking Cloudy X? What is this garbage?
I'm gonna say when I fight a boss in English KHUX, I feel like I'm not strong enough. If I had continued on Japanese KHUX, I would feel too strong.
I've one-shotted so many bosses. I two-shotted Master Ava.
Yeah, you told me about that.
Has the reputation of just being like where the game starts getting tough.
Like a game killer.
Like if you walk up to her and you're not prepared, you're just gonna be sad, and you're gonna be sad consistently. You're gonna have to use continues.
Right.
When I finally beat her, I beat her continuous like way later in English Kingdom Hearts. I walked in Japanese Kingdom Hearts and I was like, "How's it going? Have you considered getting the fuck out of here?"
It's like one of those things where you walk up and like your muscles are way too big.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Japanese Kingdom Hearts.
And you just walk right past Ava.
Feels like I'm playing on New Game Plus.
Oh. But you started on the easy difficulty.
I'm on easy. I'm playing on hard in the normal one, and then I was like, actually, fuck it. Let's see what easy looks like.
Like that's. Oh my god.
I play it as like a stress relief at this point. I'm not even playing it as a video game. I'm just like, these are a lot of jewels I've got. It sure does feel good to be me.
These are a lot. What were they thinking?
They put out events that are like 2,200 jewel pulls.
I think
it's $12 to make the big VIP deal.
Oh god.
And the VIP medals in English are terrible. Like they all cost 5. In Japan, they're like 0 cost Moana, who increases power magic-based strength by 6 tiers and restores gauges. And it's just like, what the fuck? I didn't think the game could get easier.
I'm not even using gauges.
At this point, gauges don't mean anything.
It's like there's what was I gonna say? What was I even gonna say? What is there to say about Japanese? Oh. Like I think there was a point in the game where the creators of it were like, here's a balanced game, but they didn't like. I've heard that the reason why there was that there's now daily 200 jewels every
people
day.
weren't playing.
People weren't playing, and they needed to get an interest back in. They went too far. They once they let that happen, the community was like.
They opened Pandora's box.
And they lost everything. The game that is a no man's land.
I'm like,
everyone has nukes.
It's like the pull is like $12, and I still don't feel like I need to do it.
So how would you spend money on a Japanese game?
It's just through Google Play. It's the exact same.
Oh shit! I'm gonna get 3 more multi-pulls on this Japanese.
And it's like. I don't feel like I need to do it. I feel like if I did that,
I just sort of feel empty.
I'm One Punch Man. I'd literally be One Punch Man. Like I'd lose all my hair and I'd become strong.
You should play a bald character
but
it doesn't we should talk about this. How friends work in both games.
Oh yeah.
In One Piece Treasure Cruise, you can just friend a person that has any old captain, and as long as they play the game, he'll always have access to that captain.
Right, they'll be the friend captain that you can pick up.
You have to rely on people in Kingdom Hearts. You make parties, you form groups, and they help you.
They fight raid bosses.
They fight raid bosses with you, and they share medals. Yeah, and they share medals that you'll always be able to use.
Yeah.
In Treasure Cruise, if you use them, they're gone for the day, and they'll come back.
Oh, is that how that works?
I think so.
That makes sense.
Yeah, if they don't log in for like 10 days, they don't show up, and you can get rid of them.
In Kingdom Hearts, it gets very lucky. I've gotten very lucky because I'll use a medal like for 10 quests in a row, and they'll still be there. And I'm like, thank goodness. I wish I could add you to the party, but we're all full up.
Or they just won't. Like, there's a point in time when if you don't have the luck of if you're running a party in KHUX, good fucking luck.
Yeah,
you better have a good amount of people.
There's like a higher level of luck because you have to hope that they're A, gonna play consistently, B, gonna know what they're doing, and C, like share good medals. Or you can get really lucky, like we currently have, and get a person who spends consistently too much money on this game.
Absolutely. She's already almost guilted her Ventus medal, from the Ventus event.
And it's just like, all right, I mean, like, I'm glad. She's consistently, like, she was like, I'm sharing the Beauty and the Beast medal from the VIP quest. And
Yeah,
it's like,
she
that's
definitely
absurd.
bought that.
And then she was like, I'm sharing the Gilted Kyrie from the Kyrie event. And it's like, all right, thanks for doing that.
Isn't Kronos also doing that?
You don't need a Gilted Kyrie. You just need a Kyrie period.
Right.
And then she's like, I'm sharing my almost Gilted Ventus. And it's like, thanks. I mean, keep it up. You're intimidating me.
Yeah.
Consistently, like, I'm scared that my medal's not good enough anymore.
Meowsy will always have a good amount of damage. But
Attack boost 3 and 8.5 multiplier?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
Bite your tongue.
like, of course. It's a whole different thing. Japanese Treasure Cruise, either Treasure Cruise, it's fine. But Ben, Japanese KHUX, it's almost unnecessary, because the way we started, I started playing Japanese KHUX, and I was like, oh, come on, Ben. And you're like, I guess.
Yeah, like, I'll give it a shot.
And then I lost my data. I lost access to my account because of my phone switch. And like you're in the lone party with my dead avatar, and it doesn't matter.
I keep inviting people and it's not doing anything. They're not joining.
You're just, come on.
And it's just like, because in normal Kingdom Hearts, you're like, oh, maybe somebody has shared a Gilted event medal, or somebody shares a Gilted premium, and you're like, whoa, it's my lucky day.
Yeah.
In the Japanese, it's like Gilted premium, Gilted premium, Gilted premium, Gilted premium, and then somebody's sharing like 5-star,
And you're like, huh,
and it's like, what are you doing?
what a loser.
Make any pull, dude.
And then like level 1, you're like, you gotta.
I messaged them into my friend group, and I'm like, I hope I never see you again. But it's in English, so know what it says?
No, I'd say what's funny is that there's enough English players invading Japanese KHUX and One Piece Treasure Cruise.
Yeah.
That I'd say you could make an English party in a Japanese game.
It is a sad thing. This is sort of how we'll end it up. It's a sad thing to imagine anyone from the Japanese versions coming to the English versions.
Oh, God.
It wouldn't happen. They'd be like, this game's fucking garbage.
I want a game where I'm not God.
Yeah. I'd like to see how the other side lives.
Oh, it's terrible.
Oh,
delete the game.
I hate it.
I don't have...
we fucking Fire Festival them.
Oh, God.
We delete their other account.
We steal it.
Yeah. Alright.
I think
I think we're done.
Yeah.
We've talked about everything. And the final score is play a real video game.
Oh.
Mobile games are for casuals.
If you only have space for one of them, which you like better?
Watch our gameplays of both of them and see which one.
Sounds like you'd have a better time.
Alright, so here's, at the end of the day, I'm going to go ahead and you can say whether this is fair or not. If you want a game with a lot of depth, a game that's going to let you experience a lot of freedoms and sort of push you to finding your limits, pick up Treasure Cruise.
Yep.
If you want a game that's going to sort of push you in the right direction and let you consistently make pulls and experience, get a great medal and join a party and have a lot of good friends, pick up Kingdom Hearts.
And if you want to be a god, pick up Japanese
You
Kingdom.
actually don't know Japanese
You know what?
Kingdom
Just
Hearts.
pick up Japanese Kingdom.
Fuck all these games. Japanese Kingdom Hearts is what you're going to want to do.
God, it's disgusting.
All right. Well, that was the first and probably last episode of Free to Podcast, considering we talk about free to play games so much on the podcast anyways.
I mean, we could pick up a game and play it for a week and see
then
what
give
happens.
a review of it.
Oh, I forgot to say this. How weekly rewards happen. Other games are better at it, because like sometimes they'll have, like, say you're playing Final Fantasy
Brave Exvius?
Not Brave Exvius, the one before it. The one where it's like you go to different worlds and you fight with everyone.
Oh, right.
There's 2 weekly things. So you get one bonus and then another bonus, and you just keep getting them. Dokkan Battle does the same thing too. Dokkan Battle's disgusting. Like, I was able to get so many multi-pulls just by logging in.
This is how it goes. The bigger your game is, the more popular your game is, the less it feels like it needs to give you.
No. I'd say Dokkan Battle's pretty...
Is it more popular?
I don't know about that.
I guess we should check like the Facebook pages and see the...
Well, Yeah.
Or the Google Play, see how many downloads it has.
I think they never stop giving you things.
Yeah.
If they've
Oh,
set
they never stop giving you things.
if they give you a baseline, they'll never go below the baseline.
Right.
They'll just go either ahead or back to the base.
Right.
Because if they give less, then that's risky.
Yeah, that's like gonna upset players.
Why would you
would
do
never
that?
do that?
But yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for listening. Oh wow, perfect on an hour and 30 minutes.
Oh yeah. We should put our stuff in the description of this.
Oh,
So
our accounts.
Our party.
Yeah.
Download our accounts.
Yeah, you can have my account. I don't need my English anymore.
Oh my god.
All right, later.
Bye. Hit stop, Ben. Oh no.
I am hitting stop.
Did it stop? It's not stopping. Oh no.
Oh no.
What's happening with this? Oh god. Oh no. Press pause.